Did it to me last time too, don't worry. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It's recording.
I know. I'll just edit it later.
Post. Oh, have you been editing videos on YouTube? It's recording.
I know.
Well, then how do you
I'll just edit it later.
post? Oh, have you been editing videos on YouTube? It's recording.
I know.
Well, then how do you
I'll just edit it
post? Oh, have you been editing videos on YouTube? It's recording.
later. I know.
Well, then how do you
Like a minute.
post? Oh, have you been editing videos on YouTube?
I know.
Well, then how do you
Like a minute. Just because the three of them feed together when it gets there. It did it for me before. As soon as I put it down.
Not only that, but everyone knows.
Just because the three of them we usually don't set it up for it before the show. It did it for me before. As soon as I put it down.
Not only that, but everyone knows.
We usually don't set it up for it before the show. It did it for me before. As soon as I put it down.
Can't afford to have to go down, though.
Calm yourself. It did it for me before.
The volume's coming from both the computer and that.
Because that's it, yeah.
Yeah, you can't turn the can't have a volume up to go.
Yeah, our volume's all the way up on the TV. Turn it off. That's why.
Yeah, you can't turn the can't have a volume up to go.
Yeah, our volume's all the way up on the TV. There we go. That's what it was. That's why.
What that was reverberating off something.
Yeah, our volume's all the way up on the TV. There we go. That's what it was. Good call. I don't know why on TV was up. Alright, we're better. We're fixed.
We're back.
Five. There we go. That's what it was.
Live in 5. Post it.
I did.
We're back.
Five.
Live in 5. Post it.
Streams going at one time. Let's stream it together with the video. rating has gone down by Dave. He gave us a 4.8 or 4.
Okay.
He said nice things actually. It was more, but the rating has gone down by Dave. He gave us a 4.8 or 4. But let's just kick the shit off early. What do you think?
Okay.
He said nice things actually. It was more, but the rating has gone down by Dave. He gave us a 4.8 or 4. But let's just kick the shit off early. What do you think? He said nice things actually.
What about that? I do.
Hey guys, welcome back to another fine edition of Vanishing Gates. We started 2 minutes early because we're working on some tech stuff, so just give us a moment. We're trying to get the chat up so we can actually see what you guys have to say, our wonderful listeners and viewers at home. And Jack is messing with it because, we're super consummate professionals. This theme song again. Are you gonna do this at some point there, Jack?
I'm gonna get there. You know what?
Come on, Jack.
Don't pressure
You got
me.
2 seconds.
Don't
We're
pressure.
already early live here, buddy. People are hoping for this.
Stop pressuring
People
me.
are putting their hopes and dreams on this podcast, this television show, this internet show.
Why you gotta put that on my shoulders?
You don't have enough on your shoulders.
Knock it off. I've got a lot on my shoulders.
All right, you did a good job there. That's good. I think it's good. I think we're good there.
Think we're good?
Good.
Think that'll work?
Hey guys, welcome back to Vanishing Gates. At an early start here. I'm your host, as always, Jay, and with me, as always, my wonderful sidekick here.
The concerned Jack. Once again, concerned.
I mean, 2 in a row?
2 in a row.
3 in a row? He's always concerned about something.
No, it was not
Ruin your
concerned.
blood
I
pressure.
was super last week.
Super thanks
awesome.
for asking. Now, Seth is not here tonight, or Paco, as some of you know him. It is actually his celebratory day. He is having a barbecue and hosting it, which, by the way, guys, there's going to be a fun game going on at his party. Here's what Seth is doing. We're going to say it a couple more times in the show to make sure that it works. Every time we get a new like to our Facebook page for Vanishing Gates, Seth and his friends are going to take a shot. Every time we get a new like. So make sure you send out lots of happy birthday wishes to Seth. Thank you, Aaron. And make sure you tell your friends to like and follow so we can kill his liver immediately.
All right.
Yeah?
You could potentially finish him tonight.
He's probably going to call in tonight, too, if he can pick up the phone with all the likes I'm sure we're going to give him. I'm sure he's watching right now, too, as well as his friends. He has to be because this is the thing we set up because, again, he's not here.
Yep.
Again. And he's here in spirit. And he'll be here on audio at some point, I'm sure. But, again...
I'm not using the Ouija board to contact him in spirit. I'm just saying.
I mean... What kind of spirits? Oh, look, he's actually in the party. All right, so make sure you guys all share. That way, we get more likes to the page, so Paco has to get more sloshed. Because every new like to the page, we started at 69 when the show started, Paco's going to take a shot. I think that's a good game.
Well, it depends. Considering, let's see, I don't know the lethality of taking shots.
I'm sure his liver is strong enough. It takes a long time to kill a liver.
I am now concerned if we get too many likes.
Now, guys, I'm not saying we really promote heavy drinking because it's not the best thing to do. But we're going to have Paco do that tonight.
Yeah.
By all your new likes.
We aren't promoting it.
And follows on the Facebook page. Okay, so that said, guys, our cigar of the show is a CAO Flathead Steel Horse. It's a Maduro. It's a delicious cigar.
Can't read it. Terrible camera.
Great cigar. Again, comes from our friends at Mortal Wood Liquor, Don's Fine Cigars, here in wonderful Eureka, California. You can find their website with all their information right there on the scrolling marquee as I point my finger down right now. Ooh, look at that. Our other friend we're going to talk about tonight, Cotton Studios, guys. Again, it's haunt season. People are getting ready to do their haunted houses. They're getting ready to design all their props for their pros. The guys like me who collect them, We're looking for this stuff right now to get Halloween ready, because Halloween is 365 days a year for some of us. The ones who really pay attention.
I like Halloween, but I mean,
Anyway, Jason Glenn at Cotton Studios, though, hit him up, message him, check out his art, because it's really art. He makes some really cool stuff. Hit him up, tell him Vanishing Gates sent you. In fact, tell anybody we tell you to go and like that Vanishing Gates sent you. It helps us a lot in the long run. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe on our YouTube channel, our Twitter account, which is Vanishing Gates, one word,
YouTube.
And also a new thing, and they're supposed to be watching tonight because nice guys I just found out about, the ghostsocialnetwork.com. Check it out. It's like Facebook for those of us who want to talk about the paranormal and the unexplained. Awesome guys, cool people. Have you signed up for yours yet? I know Seth did. Paco did. The Ghost Social Network. We talked about this. We have one. You can find me on Ghost Social Network after the show. Check me out at Vanishing Gates is what you look up on ghostsocialnetwork.com and make friends with these guys. They're really cool people, like-minded folks who like to talk about all this cool stuff that we talk about.
Let me. I don't even log into Facebook half the time. I've been demanded by Jay to be on Facebook at this point, as I do
especially
not enjoy,
on our viewer page.
I do not enjoy. I do not trust social networks. It's part of the government conspiracy to control our lives.
We're not doing that show yet. We're not doing that show yet at all.
Or I'm just way too lazy to log in and stay stuff.
Yeah.
Probably
That's
like
probably
it.
Anyway, how's your day, man?
It's been okay. Could have been better.
Yeah? Anything exciting happened?
Yeah.
Any ghosts after the Ouija board fondled you the other night?
You know what? That was not cool. After your Ouija board incident, just the other day, I was stretching and now I've got like pain in my neck. Some muscle or whatever is just torn.
Oh, Paco's calling.
Did that pause our live show?
No, he's still here.
No, it looks like it paused our live show.
No, it didn't.
It's definitely lagging our live show.
Hey, what's up? You're on air, Paco. What are you doing?
I'm with Dave on this one.
We're doing the Vanishing Gates thing. What's happening with you?
Not much. Just over here, just doing the Paco celebration right now.
Has the drinking commenced yet?
So over here at my place, and we were.
Oh,
I
okay.
think Jay,
Thank you,
and I,
Aaron.
we kind of talked about it earlier about having a competition with the banisters out there.
Yeah, hey, can you guys hear? Can you hear Paco on here? He's talking about our contest. Do I need to put the phone closer? Let us know in chat. Give us a second there, Paco.
Remember, we got a
That
small delay.
Delay.
And I had to move.
I know, because the delay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's harsh, Dave. Okay, good. So, our contest, you want to tell them what's happening here? So they know.
So this is going to be our contest for our vanishers out there. So every time that you guys can, now correct me if I'm wrong, because I might have mistaken this. Please correct me. For every time that Vin Diesel and Jack joke comes up.
No. We'll do the Vin Diesel and Jack jokes, but we're talking about Jack and you. So basically,
we're going to do the page likes.
we're doing the page likes there, Paco. So you better be watching. I know you're watching. I can hear it in the background. I hope everybody's watching together. Every time, guys, we get a new page like tonight, Paco's going to take a shot.
Can you spread that amongst people? Because if we get like a lethal amount, I don't want to kill him.
Oh, he's fine. And he will live stream as the after effect, I'm sure.
Not only is it going to be me taking the shots, I also have another buddy here, and he's willing to take the shots too.
So we got
now
two
we're
guys
gonna
taking
get
shots.
people for every time that somebody likes our page, him and I both will down a shot of Jack.
A bottle of?
You're going to just down a whole bottle of Jack there, Rob.
He's going down on Jack. That's gross.
Clean shot. Just every time we get a page like, me and Dave are going to take a shot of Jack.
So guys, here's what you do. You get those likes coming in. We're going to hang out with Paco here in a second. Hey, buddy. We're going to hang out with Paco here in a second. They're going to be watching the show. And they're going to look at the Facebook page for Vanishing Gates. And every time we get a new like, they're going to put a shot down. And when I go over there later, after the show's done, I'm going to record the aftermath in a very special viewer comment video for Vanishing Gates. All right, Paco, have fun. I'll see you in about an hour.
Sounds good. Good luck, you guys. Have
Yep.
fun and do what we do best. Fuck it up.
Bye. Oh, that was a call. Anyway, guys, so yeah, it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. Let's get some page lights going so we can get him demolished on his birthday, or before his birthday's tomorrow, technically.
Yeah, tomorrow. But like, let's let him reach it though.
Well, I mean, hypothetically, that could be a really cool episode of Vanishing Gates where we have to get to the Ouija board and contact him via the Ouija board. Yeah? Yeah, it's still here. It's right over there. You want to play with your friend, the Ouija board? No?
You're a bad freaking person.
I'm not a bad person.
You're a bad person.
I'm an amazingly bad person. Do not sell me short, fella.
I can't it cut off what Dave said there. I don't know.
I can't see what you said, Dave, because our chat bar's all jacked. So sorry, buddy. I'll check it in a little while and respond at some point. I'm sure it was demeaning in some fashion because we live in the chat. All right, guys. Hey, so tonight's main topic that I want to get into, the meat and potatoes. That's not going to happen. Dave. So the meat and potatoes tonight show, we have our new listener discussion group set up, where the viewer discussion group, where you guys can go on and meet each other a little bit and talk and share your experiences. We can share ours with you in a setting that's not just on the show. It's a little more laid back, and we can actually take time to tell these stories and have this good conversation. So this was actually suggested by our dear friend and viewer, Erin. And she actually lives right by the place. And by the way, Erin, I looked it up. You're okay legally because in the daytime, it's okay to go there. It's at night that it's illegal. And we're talking, of course, about Bachelors Grove Cemetery in Chicago, Illinois. Now, this is one of the most known haunted cemeteries in America. Maybe the most said to be haunted cemeteries in America.
Really?
Do you know anything about it?
Yes, I did. I did do some research. I watched Aaron's video. It was a good video.
Yeah, and again, thank you for that, Aaron. But next time, take friends with you so you don't get murdered.
Yeah, this.
We love you guys. If you guys go to a location to help us out and to share videos, just make sure you take a friend, please, just for the safety of you guys. But yeah, Aaron, you're good legally. I checked it. Daytime visits are fine as long as you don't vandalize. That's why there's cameras. Now, the Grove, it's situated on the edge of a part of the Rubio Woods Forest Preserve in Midlothian, a suburb of Chicago, Illinois. My speech there, I can't pronounce any of this
Midlothian?
at all.
You can't say Midlothian, Chicago, Illinois?
Midlothian? I'm having a hard time with it, to be honest. Can you?
Midlothian.
Say it slower.
Midlothian.
Say it like you mean it.
I need an adult.
All right, so the area surrounding the grove was settled by the English settlers in 1833. It was originally called Everton Cemetery after the founder of the area. Midlothian? Thank you, Aaron. Good. I'm saying it right. Miracles happen! After I butchered that, what was the word for skinwalker? Yanaglanchi? What do I call it? Ye
Let's go back to D Block Pass where you couldn't say a single
I know,
Russian
and what's
name.
funny is I used to speak a little bit of Russian. Can't say any of it now. Oh, man.
Actually, I think placebo is placebo Russian?
Oh, my gosh. Anyway, the cemetery was later changed to Bachelor after a German family moved to the area and resettled on the wooded plot near it. Their name was something similar to Bachelor, Bachelard or something, or Bachard, something like that. And there are rumors, though, that it was named Bachelor Cemetery because it was only a men's cemetery, which we know isn't true. That just turned out to be some kind of local legend. So, good news on that.
I think it's probably not the best news to
Well,
just bury only one people. Where were they burying everyone else?
I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. That would be bad. It was later changed again by a postmaster, and then later again by as a settlement. Basically, it melted into the wooded area around the cemetery. So it was, the woods grew back up. At one point, it was like a kempt settlement, so it wasn't just trees. Now it's like a forest, basically, and it's a preserve. Not the kind you eat. Calm down, fella.
No, I get that. I'm just saying that, from what Aaron showed and the pictures and videos I've watched about it, because I did do research on it, even though I told you I didn't.
I appreciate that you did that. I have no idea.
I like to go in this telling Jay I didn't do anything, just in case for fun. That way he has no expectations of me. Anyways, the way it looks is actually, people say it's eerie, but to me it actually looks really cool. Like it looks very, I don't know. It's calm almost. I like the forested areas though. I'm more of a person who enjoys a good forest versus like a field or something.
I enjoy a good forest on the weeks after work.
I don't know.
What do you eat on the weekends?
I like the
Rock
forest.
eater?
It's nice to see that nature grows so quickly.
Oh yeah, I mean, nature like can take things over without a problem. Like,
And it's
there is just so much. Like if you look at like the ruins of the Aztecs and the Mayans, nature just explodes around things that you leave alone.
Yeah.
We have ruins in town here that used to be the old lumber mill. What, like 40 years ago, and now it's basically a big forested area. So
it's very nice. I mean,
it is very creepy. Very pretty looking.
I do get the eerie, creepy thing from it, though. I do understand.
Oh,
that,
absolutely!
Like, immediately.
As soon as I watched the video, I was like, "Damn, it's
especially." But one of the things is you have to wonder if it's partially psychological. Like when you go in knowing the history of this place and just wandering through it, never quite like you always have that thing in the back of your head, like knowing a little lore about it and wondering what you're going to see, what you could see.
And see, I only knew a little bit about this. Like, I'd heard stories about it through the different channels talking about the paranormal and stuff. Like, I heard about the vanishing barn. Some people see, or a house. Some people say it's a house.
It's a 2-story like a ranch house, I believe.
But people see it, and like sometimes as you walk closer, it'll get smaller, or sometimes it'll just fade off. And like I've heard a couple people talk about seeing it and then saying, "Well, we thought we were going to go into it when we got close to it, and then thought, probably shouldn't do that."
Well, one of the things is there's actually a story behind that, kind of. Sometimes people will see someone standing on the porch, I believe it was, with like a lantern. And
Really?
then sometimes it's just a 2-story ranch, and the lantern's like hanging in front of the door. And I believe there's one story. There's no porch. It's just 2 stairs going up to this 2-story ranch with like big house. And then as they approached it, the house would actually get smaller and smaller until eventually it no longer existed in the area. Like they couldn't find it.
Okay.
And then there are people who have had stories like that work. Like I don't know if it's parks or what work with the graveyard, if it's private. But people who work there, I guess, the stories were that they would just see the house out of the peripheral and think nothing of it. They didn't think anything of it because they were new or something, and they thought, oh, maybe there's just a building here. And then they go back and they tell the story, and people be like, you saw that place?
Well,
and then they're warned, never go into it.
It's a preserve now, so I think it's just held up by the city, probably. The last known caretaker of the property claimed it was actually basically like a park. So families would go there, and there's a little pond there. And they'd swim in a little pond, and they'd have their lunches and picnics there and stuff. But that was a while ago that guy worked there. So I think the city's actually taken over. That's why it's a preserve. Or maybe even the state. I'm not sure if it's a state park. I don't know, Aaron, you might know, is it a state preserve or a city preserve? Let us know in chat. We'd appreciate that because I didn't even look that part up. I'm glad you brought it up. But again, guys, so here's the thing. Place is set unused for a long time. And people go and they vandalize the crap out of it, which is horrible. Now, most of the bodies have been moved, if not all of them. Some might still be there. But they vandalize, as we saw in Aaron's video. Like, people, why? It's a cemetery.
The thing is,
I just saw a video of a guy in Florida who goes to a cemetery every day that he gets off, every day when he's not working. He goes in, he takes a scrub brush and bleach, and he goes and cleans down all the headstones to make them nice.
it's really cool. I mean,
It is.
It's really respectable. The thing that I don't like is,
We should do that.
the one thing is people need to realize is that headstones are not for the dead. These headstones and stuff aren't just markers of where a person is. It's mostly for the family to go view and be able to find their loved ones. It's for the family for the most part.
We have a relative.
And so you're not insulting the dead. You're actually insulting the person
You're
whose
insulting.
family
You're hurting
it
the
is.
living, is what you're doing.
You're doing more damage
The
to the
person's
people
dead.
that
They don't
live.
care anymore. But the people that they're still there. I mean, have some respect.
And then
guys.
think about it in a historical
So Aaron
aspect.
says in chat, the county administrator takes care of it. Okay, cool.
But I mean, think about it in this respect. Like, it's not
Thank you,
just that, but if people who go out there who don't mind vandalizing things, but you like history, you're erasing history essentially. Because when you damage one of these, they can't recreate.
They can't
they
make
can't
it the
figure out
same
where
as
it was.
you know?
Well, no, I mean, they can't get the information off it anymore. So, like, say you damage it enough that they can't get the numbers, the name, things like that. They don't know who lived there. They don't know who was buried here anymore. Maybe there was someone famous there, and you just destroyed their headstone that someone was looking for.
Who cares? They were famous. They're still.
But what if they were like? That's true. That's true. But in a historical aspect, what if the register want to know if someone's buried in the local area, but they couldn't find the grave?
I mean, well, okay. So look what just happened in San Francisco. They found that little girl's body buried under the house in that glass coffin, and they just found like this month who
Glass
she
coffin?
was. Yeah, and like San Francisco, they were doing a development
Hey, Bo.
project. Hey, Bo. They were doing a development project, and they unearthed underneath this house the coffin of a little girl in a glass coffin. And they just found out who her family was. They actually found a living relative, like a great nephew, through DNA testing. And they actually relocated her with her family. What had happened was, when they moved that part of the cemetery to build this development, they moved most of the bodies and missed hers. So, yeah. That was pretty cool. So they can find these things, but that doesn't negate the fact that it's Victorian times, dude.
Did they actually bury people in glass coffins? I thought that was a
It had
myth.
glass openings on it. The whole thing wasn't glass. I mean, she was well preserved. So.
Well, I didn't know they even put windows or anything in, like, at all. I thought it was just straight wood.
In the Victorian times, and even now, they do crazy things like that, dude. People get cryogenically preserved.
Look at Nick Cage in the New Orleans cemetery. He's got a giant pyramid freaking tomb.
A lot of people like those pyramid tombs. You know why? Because they're sturdy. They're sturdy. They stand the test of time. Look at Gaza. Giza.
Temple of Giza.
The Giza Plateau, where the Sphinx is, and the Great Pyramids. Yeah, that.
Pyramids of Giza. The
Giza,
pyramids of Gaza entirely,
tomato.
literally thousands of miles away from each other, but they're right next to Gaza Strip now.
Well, a
Right
happy
outside of Gaza.
Kafifi to you too, sir. Anyhow, so the last known burial in the cemetery was actually the created remains of Robert E. Shields in 1989. The first being in 1844, and that was Miss Eliza Scott. No. Straight banana?
Dave. I think Dave's entire job as a friend of the show is to try and disrupt the show and throw us off our game.
That's why Dave and I are good friends. That's why I love that man.
I love it.
He's my best Canadian buddy.
If the show ever goes anywhere, he needs his own segment.
He wouldn't do it. So, yeah, the cemetery itself seems to have been lost to bureaucracy more than anything else. So there's a lot of arguments about who should take care of it and whatnot until it's finally settled on who should take care of it. Now it's being fine. Vandals and teenagers still frequent it.
Well, it makes sense why the bureaucracy would have an issue, because if it's near, like, you know, one outside a township or inside a township, maybe the town doesn't think they have to take care of it. Maybe they're trying to, like, throw it off to one area or the other. Like the Parks area, CCC, something, or not CCC, sorry, I don't know what it is in Chicago, but their conservation corps, if they have one.
Well, it's county. Aaron told us it's county administrator.
Well, maybe the county doesn't want to take care of it. Maybe they're trying to say that it's not
there's
their
been a lot of back
job,
and forth
like
in
that.
there, you know. But that was more. I mentioned that more because people are going and vandalizing, and that's why that's one of the reasons people think that the hauntings are happening, the apparitions are showing up, and all the paranormal activity is going on because of the vandalism. Which you hear that, like,
well, it makes sense.
People move into old houses, they start to remodel them, and then suddenly they have haunted activity. You know?
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense, because even with ghosts, I mean, how would hauntings work? That's always something that bothers me with Bachelor. I mean, it kind of makes sense because people were killed there, you know, which you'll get into eventually. There was I believe there were deaths on the site, right? I mean, that makes sense that there could be a haunting that is disturbed there, but don't most, like, hauntings happen in the location of death? So why would it be centered around the body?
That's not necessarily true. Remember, we talked about it on our ghost one, and we talked about how the girl that is the actual ghost, I've actually emailed her to try to get her on the show. The Ghost Whisperer is based on her theory I've heard her talk about is that the light is around for like 48 hours. And so they hang out, or they get stuck there if they go into the light, and so they have to look for, you know.
But can they travel? That's the question. I mean, it's the area of death. I firmly believe that it's stuck around emotions, and being killed in a brutal way or something like that is a heavy emotion. It leaves a scar there, which causes them to stay. Can they leave that heavy emotion area? That's
the other thing too. Like with heavy emotion, there's a lot of energy involved. We talked about energy hauntings versus apparitional hauntings or spirit hauntings. But I mean, this sounds more like a spirit-based thing. At the same time, though, there's rumor that pond that everybody used to swim in was a dumping ground for the mafia and Mr. Al Capone.
Al Capone?
Yeah, you know,
isn't he the guy that does acting nowadays?
That's Al Pacino.
Oh, Al Pacino. Okay, never mind.
I'm sure he could play.
I think he did. No, he didn't.
I don't believe he did.
No.
Anyhow, no. I'm not really sure that happened. I looked up different stories because I heard the rumor about the pond. Keep in mind, people swam in that pond quite a bit. And there's no real evidence to suggest it happened aside from rumor. But again, it's the mafia, it's Chicago, back in the day. Anything could be painted over and whitewashed.
Rumors pretty much fly about a lot of things. I mean, like, you can throw a rock and hit a place that probably has some sort of rumor about mafia and crap like that. It's like, for instance, Chicago. Especially in Chicago, you can just throw a freaking rock and hit them.
Stories about the mafia, bro.
That small butcher shop, well, obviously, yeah. That small Korean barbecue. There are 100 people coming later.
I don't know that I'd be worried about a Korean mafia. I'm very polite, and I'll teach you Taekwondo.
No, my point is that in places like Chicago, you can more than likely find a story about any location, and there's probably a story about something that happened with the mafia in those locations.
Well, yeah, I mean, any place has mafia. We have mafia
Well,
stories
a lot
here.
of it is made up because people want to sensationalize a business or they want to sensationalize a location. I mean, I'm sure Bachelors Grove is true. I mean, it makes sense.
Well, it does. I mean, it makes perfect sense. It's a secluded place, not always dredged, and you wouldn't want to talk about it, especially, we know that the mafia had ties in police departments and stuff in Chicago at some point or other, probably still. So they could have covered it up. And probably in the news sources and stuff, so who knows? It could just be a rumor, but it's still an interesting thing to think about when you think about all the things. Now, the pond also has another weird thing that happens that makes no sense to the mafia. A white horse comes out of the pond sometimes as a ghost.
What I read wasn't that it was a white horse. It was a four-legged creature.
I read white horse because a guy was riding his horse, and he fell into the pond and drowned when the horse got scared by something, possibly a goose.
I wonder if that has anything to do with the creature that comes out and crosses the street.
What's
Supposedly, a large creature will come out of the pond and then cross the street, or will come out of the forest and cross into the pond and stuff like that.
Well, could it be a giant nutria?
Do they have nutria in Chicago?
I mean, we're not supposed to have them here. It's a South American creature, but we have them in Oregon. There's a bounty on them. We can go kill them. You get paid by the state of Oregon to kill nutrias and bring their skins in.
Anyone in the state of Oregon, that's a great way to make money, apparently. Go hunt nutria.
So yes, the horse, and he did die, Aaron says. I believe it's totally true. I'm not negating that's
the other thing I was reading was
I
was reading another thing, and it was there's a theory that a lot of cemeteries, when if they're blessed, if you will, they have something that protects them. They have like spirits and such that protects them that will come out and defend the graveyard per se.
Blessed by what?
I have no idea.
I'm just confused as to how you
creatures.
I mean, have you ever attended a funeral at a cemetery?
I have never.
There's a blessing over every grave. There's a preacher on. I know because I've presided over more than one burial.
That's what I'm saying. If areas were blessed, you could draw spirits and they will protect the area. That's why
you think they're protectors?
They're just protecting the area, and so they'll like appear to people to scare them off, or they'll try to like appear before them to scare them out of the graveyard or something to stop them from doing something.
But they don't bury anybody in the cemetery anymore. At all. Like, it's not a thing there.
Okay.
So, and plus, I don't know that
from long ass time ago. I'm talking like most cemeteries
I
aren't
don't
brand
know
new.
that any of the vandals actually have stories about going there and getting bludgeoned by a ghost because they were tagging a tombstone.
Well, how many
Which
vandals?
would be a freaking awesome story. And
if you're a vandal, please come forward and tell us about your tagging skills that are an offense and illegal.
That would be probably the best life. I want to hear that life lesson. That could be like a cross and the switchblade story all over again.
I went to tear down a headstone, and the next thing I know, I'm being bludgeoned by the headless horseman.
Yeah, there's also supposed to be orbs seen all over the place, and I'm always super suspicious when it comes to orbs.
I don't know if I believe in orbs, to be honest.
Well, there are some that I've heard about that make a little bit more like you can see the orb plus something in it, but just little white flecks. Like when we did our Eureka Inn thing, we did a promo shoot of photos we haven't released yet, and we went around and it was kind of misty out. So we took pictures all around. All you see is orbs everywhere because it's misty out. We're using a camera flash. It's at night. You gotta be careful of that. There's also a story about a white lady that sits on a tombstone, sometimes holding a baby, and that's kind of creepy and unsettling.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of that one.
Have you? I'm pretty sure that was debunked.
It was supposedly a picture of a woman, and it looked exactly like a woman. I'm just sitting there looking at like that's a woman sitting on a headstone.
I'm pretty sure they actually took a picture of a production associate, and actually was her.
That's what I'm saying. It's way too clear. Like there's no. I don't believe that could be a ghost. It was way too clear.
I mean, why? Maybe they had really good photographs.
There was like even in any picture of a spirit that I've ever heard of.
Jack, unlike us, they might be able to budget good cameras.
There is something that is very clearly wrong with the person, or there's something that you can see through, or But the person that's sitting there is a person. You can just tell when you look at it. There's a way to just to know by nature that is not a ghost. That is a person. I mean,
that's the hard part about the current age and the technology we have. It's hard to differentiate. It's going to have way more frauds when we have better equipment.
One of the biggest problems is the fact that things are filled with fraudulent, with fraudulent like photos and stuff. It causes a big issue when everybody's flooding the market with just images and stuff. And for instance, a lot of people, they're like, oh, look at this. Like, I saw one video where this guy was talking about the grave that was in the ground. It was a long one, and there was no words on it. They were like, oh, that's really weird. I'm like, no, that's erosion. More than likely, that thing's just been pelted with stuff, and eventually it was just really old. It was a really old gravestone. It just eroded.
Well, yeah, some of the water, too. Like some of the
water damage, because it's also flat.
Well,
it's a long, flat one.
They engrave into some of the tombstones some of the words and letters. They carve into it. And so when the water hits, it's already caverned out. So it follows that. So you'll see some names that are longer and drawn out. And people get like, oh, it's been scratched on. Oh, it's just erosion and stuff sometimes. But not always. There are some things you just really can't just go, oh, yeah, this makes perfect sense.
The thing is I've been to many graveyards, and I've never felt anything weird or felt awkward there. I will say one time something really freaking weird happened.
Okay.
We went into our local graveyard, which I think you know which one it is. It's outside of there's a brewery behind it. It's down. Okay, so it's in town. There is a cell tower in town, not far from that.
Okay.
I go in there and I'm walking around the gravestones, and I'm doing this. I'm playing Pokemon Go.
You are what?
I was playing Pokemon Go.
What were you doing in a cemetery?
I was playing Pokemon Go.
Tell me you weren't finding ghost Pokemon.
I was finding nothing. That was the problem.
Okay.
There was literally nothing there.
No, actually, the problem, a grown-ass man is playing Pokemon Go.
Aside from this, I lost signal.
Okay.
The cell tower is not far from me. I get cell service almost going out of the town, where it's really freaking far from the tower. I'm probably less than a mile or two away from the town cell tower.
So you're suggesting the ghosts were sapping your cell service?
No, I don't know what happened, but I lost all service. Like, I lost the ability to look at things, to use the internet. I couldn't get a signal out there. And then as I was leaving, my signal came back.
Weird.
Once I left, my signal came back. I couldn't do anything in the graveyard.
Well, we know that spirits sometimes are said to drain devices, so camera batteries will run down, recording batteries will run down, because their energy isn't quite enough so they have to draw from something, because they left their battery behind.
Oh, it's not there? I don't know how much I believe that.
Pokemon Go, Dave in chat says, is not set up to work in graveyards.
Yeah, but I hear that's not true, because there's a local graveyard just down the street that it actually worked in.
Actually, yeah, no, I can verify for that, because my friend wanted to go play Pokemon Go and catch ghosts in that cemetery.
Yeah, your friend. We got you. Your friend.
My friend. We're lagging here.
Well, what's the
I'm
lag?
sure they're not going to see it, but it's lagging.
I don't like lag.
Sorry, guys. We're having a bit of technical disturbances here. Anyway. So, there's also stories that the trees will creak and without wind.
Really?
Yeah, actually, I think Erin might have said that during her video, when the trees are creaking, but there was no wind.
I'm still a little stalled because it looks like we're
our
frozen.
internet connection here. Protection. Internet connection. No, we should be good. Solar flares, damn it. Telling you. Damn it. Tell me when it's better. Tell me when it's better. I'm sorry, guys. I've got
one of the problems is we have this delay, so we're having an issue.
Yeah, we can't really tell with the delay.
Lags or something happens.
Frozen screen, always good. Okay, that's great. Let's switch over to a different Wi-Fi.
Hold on. Are we catching up?
Oh,
catching up?
Oh, we're here again. Oh, we're back. Okay.
Hold on. Let's make sure. Can you see us? Do you love us?
This is the kind of professionalism you've come to expect from the Vanishing Gates Paranormal Show. Okay.
Yeah, Aaron, I actually heard that creaking, and I know there was wind, but I have to agree with you. There was quite a lot of creaking just for the amount of wind that there was. And we live in a forested area, but
I mean, technically we live in a rainforest, but there's no trees left. A rainforest without trees. It's like a cemetery without ghosts.
Lots of rain, no forest.
Oh man! All right, so the disappearing barn thing's cool. White lady's cool. The ghost lady. Good gosh. Man. Somewhat more disturbing, though, is the fact that some people have been trying to dig up graves, and you can actually see some of the... They're looking for souvenirs, all that Burke and hair. You can actually see some of the berms. Burke and hair. It's about ghouls.
Oh, okay.
British thing.
I know the ghoul is someone who eats the dead or robs them.
They're grave robbers.
Yes. But ghoul is more for people who eat the dead, isn't it?
No. No, it's still cannibalism. A ghoul is someone who goes and digs up graves to get stuff out of it. Like I said, Burke here. Oh, man.
Anywho.
There's also stories of a black dog. Oh, that's what you were talking about. Ghost monks and friars, ghost cars, and a really badly taken care of road. Yeah.
I
pretty much sum up all the haunts.
I think the interesting thing about the car was the fact that there were, I was reading one story where some people had gone through, and there was a car that had vanished off the road that they were following because they were I don't know what they were doing on the road, but they were following it through, and the car they got to I don't know where they got to because like I said I don't know the layout of this place, but they followed it and it just vanished up in the air, and it looked like an old school maybe a Model A kind of thing.
Like it vanished up into the air, like it went upwards.
No, it just vanished. It just up and vanished.
Oh, up and it vanished into thin air, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
I've
heard a couple of those. I've actually heard about someone walking on the road and actually thinking they're going to get hit by a car. Very Ghostbusters-esque.
Did you hear anything about the friars? Because that's something I've never heard.
I just said monks and friars, yeah.
Where do they see them?
They see them around the cemetery sometimes. Supposedly they'll see a group of monks and friars. Interesting story, actually, that brings me to another seg here. We have a very old cemetery near here in Ferndale, this historic cemetery. And I was out there with a group of friends, and we actually saw all around us on the horizon shadowy figures that looked like they were wearing hoods and bowed over in prayer or something like that. We got the heck out of there pretty quick.
Is Dan in chat? Because I remember he was going to do a spirit box session. That's something I wanted to bring up.
We're going to have a call-in thing for that, I think. For Dan to call into the show and be part of that. So,
cool.
All right, so now that's, I think, the meat and potatoes of the cemetery. I know it's been covered. Zach Bagans did it a couple times. It's been on all sorts of other places.
To me, it sounds like, from what I've seen of it and what I've heard about it, it's like there's no... It's interesting with cemeteries. You see and you hear a lot of things out in the wilderness. You'll see a lot of things like Bigfoot. You'll see pictures. Hell, even Mothman. But when you come down to graveyards... There's not a lot of evidence. There's not a lot of mounted evidence other than eyewitness stories.
Well,
because,
again,
you don't usually go there searching. Most people who go there are going to visit somebody. And then people work there aren't looking to take pictures. They're just looking to do their job.
That's another problem. People, there's so many cameras everywhere. We're going to catch this stuff. We would have caught it already. Well, the thing is, if you're seeing some of this stuff, you're not in the mindset to go, I got to get my camera out and record it. That's why we get so much cool footage from Russia, because everyone has a dash cam. We have a camera on us, but it's not always running. You're not always walking around with your cell phone up. Not everybody has a GoPro on their shoulder yet. I'm sure that'll happen eventually.
Well, yeah, eventually, cameras are going to become the norm. They're going to become the daily thing. But until then, it's mostly just up to what you believe. It's really this graveyard. If, for instance, if our follower Erin says it, she's pretty good. I think if she's seen something or she,
Well, she found satanic artifacts back there. I think she said.
And that's
I've heard lots of people say there's satanic
that wouldn't shock me. That's one of the things when they talk about monks and friars is whenever you talk about satanic rituals, a lot of people talk about seeing monks and friars. They believe are monks and friars because they see them in robes. They see robed people, and a lot of the time, the satanic rituals and stuff like that in certain sites. Those are the most viewed things when you talk about satanic shadow people in hoods and robes that look like monks.
Shadowy figures in hoods and robes look like monks.
So if you see a monk out there and they're satanic rituals, do not approach, as more than likely this is not a monk or your humble friar.
It could be. So she's actually so Erin in chat says she actually met real Satanists there, so people that actually go out there to practice their rituals or whatever it is. Now I'm not saying hey, this isn't the 90s when everybody's worried about everybody's doing satanic stuff anymore and everybody's getting sacrificed to Satan. Most Satanists are just hanging out, talking to Satan.
Talking to Satan.
Not really sacrificing things.
Not much about Satan happening now.
Aside from once or twice gerbils here and there. Why are we doing an accent?
I don't know.
Why do you sound like a Midwestern housewife?
I don't.
You did. For a minute there, you definitely did.
Shut up.
Okay, so you want to talk about another cemetery. As we're on a cemetery kick.
I do?
You had said that.
All right, so we're going to talk about another cemetery that's actually, because I've seen lists about what the most haunted cemeteries were, and I thought one of my first things was the old Jewish cemetery was one I was going to do.
Wait, hold on
one second. We will save that.
Erin in chat says she has seen evidence of bad ones. That's not a good thing. Burnt graves in the past. Yeah, that's not polite. It's vandalism on the highest degree.
And it's just what are they anticipating? Like, what if this person, like, let me put it to you like this: as someone who's saying, okay, so if you believe in Satan, then you have to believe in, you have to believe in God generally, right? It's the ideal.
Not necessarily.
It's it doesn't make sense if you don't. Like, it's a hand in hand thing generally, in my opinion.
I mean, you would think so, but
so it's like saying, okay, well, they sacrifice children. Why? They haven't sinned yet. They're not evil. That's not going to help anybody. That's not hell. If you killed your followers who had hurt someone before who had sinned, then yes, you're sending someone to Satan, and therefore he's happy. But if you're sending away young children that are going to go to heaven anyways, it's just freaking pointless.
I mean,
because if you believe in Satan, then generally you believe in heaven, right? So then you're just sending people to God generally, and then you're burning on graves that you don't know if these were bad people. So if you're summoning the spirit of a good person and you're a Satanist, there's no evil coming from that. There's no purpose behind it. Just to be a dick.
I mean, I don't know, dude. We'd have to get a Satanist opinion on this.
We should get a Satanist opinion on this.
I'm not arguing with you. Probably should.
I'm sure there are people out there, and here's the thing: I'm not religious. I'm not, and I have nothing against people who are religious, or I don't have anything against anyone who's religious in any religion, as long as they're, be a good person. Generally, is my only rule is just be a good person.
Okay, we're not going to do any more religious talk than that because.
Well, that's as far as I'm going, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If there's a Satanist who wants to be on the show, we will hear you out. We will listen. And we'll let you speak your piece and explain why these things are done.
Yes, especially when we get callers in, because when we finally have a line open for callers set alone, man, we're going to have people we're not going to agree with or want to hear from.
Of course.
But we're going to treat them with respect and dignity, even if they believe in the flat earth.
Yeah.
So talk about your cemetery.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Stull Cemetery. Stull is
Why did you say that all emo? Stull Cemetery.
We're going to talk about Stull Cemetery today.
The cemetery brings the darkness out of my soul.
It brings the darkness. Anyways, we're going to talk about Stull Cemetery. Pastafarian. Yes, we're going to have Pastafarian on here. One day.
Can we talk about Stull Cemetery?
Okay. Sorry, Stull Cemetery.
You're stalling. See what I did there?
Yeah. Most people think that Stull Cemetery had a darker background, that it had like...
Where's it at?
It's in Kansas. It's located in, I believe it was Douglas County. Okay. And it's actually not incorporated in Douglas. And there's a lot of stories that go along with Yeah, I believe it's on the outer side of the county.
Douglas County,
yeah.
Kansas. Okay, so it's in a different county.
It's like it's I believe it's the sheriffs or whatever deal with it, not local.
That would be in county usually. Maybe state police if it's unincorporated.
More than likely.
Unincorporated usually means city or township.
One year they had to get as many people as they possibly could.
For what?
Now, or to police the cemetery on a Halloween. I will explain that in a minute. Okay, so first, the story of Stull is pretty basic. It was a small little tiny area that had a post office set up, and the postmaster's last name was Stull. Before that, it was called Deer Creek. Shortly after, it was renamed to the postmaster. I don't know, like in the back of the day, I believe when a post office or whatever they were called back then. Those usually, like, towns grew up around them, I believe, right? Most towns grew around them.
Communicate with other places outlying, so that's how you would incorporate a community.
The town essentially grew because of this man, and so they renamed it for him. The town is considered cursed, and the thing is a lot of people warrant that because they don't like people coming to visit. They don't like visitors. They don't like people coming from out of town.
They don't like people from not around
here.
It's
not that. It's actually what happens with... It's not because they're Okies or they're backwoods or anything like that. They're normal people.
Okies are different Kansas.
Well, okay. Well, whatever. Fine, they're not...
They're corn huskers.
Toasties. I don't know. Anyways, they're not huskers.
Corny?
No, they might be huskers, but... They're not crazy people. It's just a matter of what's happened over the years in the cemetery itself and the local township that really annoys them when people come to do, like, paranormal investigations and stuff like that.
Okay.
It really just bothers them.
Okay, it took you a long time to get to that simple thing where they don't like when people come to do paranormal investigations.
You made me degrade
because the prior jerks before them.
Because I said, okay, I'm sorry, okay?
Bro.
I was getting there, but then you're like,
also, I think
nitpick.
Nebraska might be the corn plant, isn't
it? Yeah.
Nebraska
is the corn husker. There's the Huskers.
Kansas is like the Toto, Dorothy, Wizard of Oz state.
It's the Ravens, right? Kansas City. Who the hell cares? Who follows college football anyway?
Are the Ravens a college football team? I thought they were.
I don't know what the heck they are. Well, they are.
Sure they're in the NFL.
Anyways, let's get back to this.
You were a football guy.
I don't follow college football. I know the Ravens are an NFL team.
Wait,
yes, they're from Baltimore.
Baltimore's Maryland.
Baltimore Ravens.
Okay, never mind.
Holy crap! Now that you've got that out of your system.
Welcome to Football Chat with Jay and Jack. No.
Tom
I'm not
Brady.
doing that.
Tom Brady's amazing. That's all I'm saying.
Will you stop
But
it?
I'm a Broncos fan, so.
Will you stop and talk about...
Fine. I was just going off with what you wanted to go
Stop
off.
stalling and talk about the cemetery.
Okay, fine. So, anyways,
Stall Cemetery.
Stall Cemetery is considered one of the most haunted places, or one of the most has the most paranormal activity. And there are many reasons
one
that
of
it
the
goes
most
around.
haunted places works.
Yes, it'll work. Screw it. But it's not haunted by ghosts, generally. It's supposedly haunted or supposedly frequented by Satan.
So it's not haunted. It has a demonic infestation.
Yes. It's more like it's
with the
cursed,
lurch
if you
of
will.
the darkness.
And one of the ideas that it's cursed is that supposedly the mayor of Stull was killed by a stable boy, stabbed to death. Just one problem with that, if you're looking it up, there's never been a mayor of Stull. So that doesn't make sense. So that one was pretty much debunked pretty quickly because they found out that, A, there was no mayor. That because they're incorporated with Douglas County, they're unincorporated, but they've never had a mayor.
Well,
they've never had a mayor.
On that note, too, Bachelors Grove is part of a...
But it's incorporated.
It used to be its own settlement, though.
But it is incorporated.
Yeah, I
so
know.
So the mayor of the
saying.
local township is
so
the mayor.
At some point, maybe it was a settlement and they had a mayor.
Yeah. Well, essentially.
So hypothetically, it could still be true.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. Given
That's my caveat there.
Given the fact that a lot of paperwork gets lost, there could have been a mayor and he could have done that. Anyway,
I love the bureaucracy.
So the around the graveyard, supposedly Satan had a child with a witch in this graveyard, and he was a shapeshifter, werewolf, whatever you prefer. He could turn into a wolf, and he was buried at the bottom of it, or he wasn't buried. He was left in a church, shackled up, and the township would someone would throw food to him essentially, and he never got out. Around the time he was 10, he chewed off his arm that was shackled, and then proceeded to kill someone he wandered across, and then spent several months killing people until a lone farmer somehow managed to kill this werewolf.
Okay, so here's what I think is actually happening. Much like in olden times, probably the little kid was born from a whore with someone she didn't know the father of, had a lot of mental issues, plus abandonment issues, and a very hyper-religious community locked him up in a church and tortured him until he was able to free himself and take revenge.
Essentially.
And that's a much better story than saying it's a son of Satan.
I think that's actually what wound up happening.
Sounds more like pure justice.
But this is part of the legend of the cemetery stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
There was supposedly a witch that was buried there.
On the cemetery?
Yes, there was. I believe, I don't know if there's two or just one, but supposedly the church that's there got bulldozed.
Is it a big cemetery or what? Oh, there's been two different buildings on the cemetery.
That's the thing I don't get, because the thing is they said that in Stull, like in 2016, 2015, 2016, apparently there was rumors that the church that was there got bulldozed, and the owners of the land didn't give anyone permission to bulldoze it. Someone just came in and fucking bulldozed it. Pardon me. Someone just freaking bulldozed it, and they have no idea why or who did it. I don't think that's true because I've just seen pictures recently, so I'm pretty sure that was just a rumor that people are trying to get people to come back and look at it. Maybe the landowners. I don't know why.
Well, maybe they're trying to sell property. Well, it's like that ghost mansion for millions of dollars that no one wants to buy.
It's natural.
For sale right now. It's haunted.
Please
it costs
buy
an
it.
extra few million for the monsters that live here.
Some demons. You can pay extra for the demons.
So basically, the getaway from this is if you want to raise your property value by having a bunch of evil things in your house, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's probably not. Generally, no.
Could.
Anyway, so
Unless Zach Bacon's got
the church is actually supposed to be one of the landmarks that leads to a staircase, a hidden secret staircase. There's a seal that hides this. Supposedly there's a seal that hides it.
The church is a landmark that leads to the staircase. The staircase is in the church.
It's a landmark that's supposed to be near the church.
That's very Indiana Jones.
So originally there was a pine tree. There was an old, freaking large pine tree near the church, and it actually grew. Where it grew up, it tore through a headstone. It split a headstone. It was grown through a headstone. So there's a split headstone where it used to be until this tree is now gone, mind you. I don't know why, but they had a problem where Wiccans or witches, I guess it was, that would just come in and have hold ceremonies and stuff in the church and then dance around the tree.
Black Sabbath.
Yes, essentially there's rumors that someone had been hung from this tree and that a witch had been hung from this tree, and that supposedly this is one of the ways that led to the curse.
I have a problem with the hanging tree thing in the cemetery because every freaking cemetery I've ever gone that's supposed to be haunted has a freaking hanging tree in it. Someone was hung from this tree.
Maybe they were too lazy to carry them out of town, and so they just made that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Logistically, it makes perfect sense. If you're going to execute somebody, do it in the cemetery. You just have a hole right in the tree.
Dig the hole underneath the tree and just
cut the
drop
cord,
them in it.
Call it good. legitimate makes sense, but this is not how people did things.
You
So the hanging tree story is always a big.
gotta wonder whose job that might have been. Just
It's like
standing
the
underneath the
Indian
tree,
barrel
having to
round
dig
story.
just right underneath the limb. Be like, all right,
yeah,
cut him loose.
yes. Especially on a chainsaw.
Damn it,
you
he
hit with an
missed!
Axe and stuff, and cut the roots out so the body falls in. It'd be cheaper just to get a wood chipper and let him drop.
And what
into
happens
that.
if the body misses and just hits the side of the grave, and then someone has to come over and kick it in? Just like, get it, go.
God, you're a pleasant person. Anyhow, so go ahead with the story here.
So supposedly the tree and the church were markers that lead to a sealed staircase.
To
There
what?
is a seal on it to the underworld.
What underworld? Like Chicago, Illinois, where the mafia was throwing people
To
into
hell,
Bachelors Grove
essentially.
Pond. Wait, it's an actual staircase to hell?
Supposedly the
I
the
thought it would be a
netherworld or whatever.
highway to hell on a staircase.
It's kind of like someone said it was the netherworld, which I don't know what the heck that means, but whatever.
Show out.
Anyway, supposedly you can't find your way back up from it. And then there's other rumors that if you go down these stairs, that it'll take you 2 weeks to get back, and it'll have been moments to you. You'll walk down it, turn around, go back up, and it'll have been like 2 weeks by the time you reach the top again.
It's a staircase to a spacecraft. Missing time. You probably got probed.
Essentially, it's the idea of missing time.
You got probed. That should be
No.
a song.
I don't think that should be a song.
That should be an alien song. You got probed. Dude, that should be a Vanishing Gates bumper sticker.
Oh god.
I got probed on Vanishing
The fact that you
Gates.
think this is a good idea tells me that you're suffering from Mandela effect. That's all that there is to it. Anyway, so the tree would lead. Supposedly, somehow, this is a marker, and so this is where the story gets kind of different. Like, there's one story in there that doesn't have to do with Satan.
This is where the story gets weird.
Okay, so actually, I'll get into that in a minute. But sorry, I said that. I apologize. I can't say something gets weirder.
Actually said different, but I know you meant weird.
It gets a little different from the Satanist thing. It's actually supposedly I don't know if she was a witch or just part of the local township, but there was a woman who, if you step on her graves, she will appear, or you will hear the words, "Stay away from my bones." And then, essentially, you'll feel something weird, and most people just leave that have talked about the story. I don't
Get off
I don't know where it
my
leads the
bones.
story, but don't walk on her grave, essentially, it pisses her off.
It's like Robert the Doll. Don't take his picture without his permission. He'll get pissed.
Yes.
Or Annabelle. Don't mock
Yes.
Annabelle the doll.
I don't mock
Pissed.
any dolls. They're creepy. Anyways,
Did you see the creepy porcelain doll I posted up
I don't want to see the creepy person.
on the page? It's actually in my bedroom.
No, it's not.
That is the biggest cock block ever. Look up at that thing. Nope. Gonna take a shower now.
You're freaking weird.
Straight up. Like, look up at
crazy.
that. I'm doing it. Look up at the doll. Like, nope. Can't do this anymore. Done.
I'm gonna move on. Anyway, so supposedly her husband that she hated is buried right next to her, and every once in a while the
What's the
dirt,
problem? She can't get away from
hold
it.
on, the dirt will be turned up. She hated him, and the dirt will be turned up. And the theory is that what's happening is somehow she is trying to move him out of the ground, essentially, get him out of the ground next to her and have him moved. So the dirt will be turned up around his grave every once in a while.
Isn't that typical? All he wants to do is rest and sleep. She has got to wake his ass up.
That's fucked up, bro. Anyway,
What's the difference between your wife and a lawyer?
for those of you watching,
Your wife will stop screwing you after you're dead.
before we continue, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Follow
Follow.
the page.
Hey guys,
Be great.
we have to get those likes on the page, or Paco's going to be sober by the time I get there.
Yes, let's not let it be sober.
And
Anyways,
I didn't see any upticks on the page from likes, guys. It's sad. So sad. Poor Paco.
yeah, I feel
Poor
so
Paco.
sorry for him, I'm sure.
You know what the problem is? You didn't put a shoe on your head.
I'm not putting a shoe on my head.
Good for you. You
Who do-
take a stand.
Who do you think I am?
Mahatma Gandhi.
I've got more respect for myself than that.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Anyways, so aside from that, the story goes that back in, I think, the 90s, I can't remember if it's 92, 93, but the Pope, depending on what story you want to read, basically, the Pope either flew over the cemetery in his private plane, and those people, or the Pope's private plane started having, like, interference while it was flying over, according to one story. It was having an issue.
I mean, the Pope has a private plane?
Yeah.
Did he have a pilot's license?
Wouldn't shock me. Maybe, hopefully.
Is it?
I hope.
Is it?
That's
Papal?
one. That's one flying
wait,
Pope.
Wait, is it Papal Force One?
What the hell, dude? Anyway,
It's been a long week. Give me a
you
break.
suck.
Not a long work week. I'm not in this yet. I'm here. I'm here
Did
now.
you even put a title to this thing?
Yes, I did. Bachelors Grove. And know we're talking about another cemetery.
Actually, there is
And
something
we're
that we didn't
stalling.
mention in Bachelors Grove.
But
They, according to one thing I read, that Aaron, you might be able to verify this. That apparently there was another area close to it named Bachelors Grove. It was a little park area. They named it that so people would stop looking for the cemetery.
really?
Supposedly, according to one thing I read. Aaron, could you verify that?
Is that a diversion tactic? That's awesome.
Apparently, there was a diversion. In an attempt to divert them, they had a park in a local area. They renamed Bachelors Grove so people would go to that place instead of the grave. They wouldn't be able to find the graveyard. Apparently.
That's kind of smart.
I mean, it would be.
I mean, I guess. So,
Anyway, so the Pope either flew over it and stuff started going crazy, or he ordered them to divert around it.
so Papal Force One was having issues with turbulence,
Yes.
and the Pope got scared and didn't want to go over the cemetery.
Oh, it is real. That's pretty interesting.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron. Okay, so now it got interesting, and the reason I say they had to have a lot of police installed is because the one year in the 80s, there was supposed to be, I believe it was 88, year I was born. There was supposed to be Satan would rise up from the earth. He would he would come up the staircase, and he would bring the souls of the damned and the pain with it. Or
Did he
people with
look
pain.
like a fat old
suffer-
man Logan?
I don't know. Anyways, he would supposedly bring the souls of the
Sprinkle
damned
holy
up
water on you.
from the ground, and Satanists and people started flocking to the cemetery. Hundreds. Within one night on Halloween night, they had either turned away or arrested altogether the people that had been there, about 500 people.
Why the hell do they think Satan has anything to do with Halloween?
I have not a
It's
clue.
an Irish holiday.
It's Samhain, isn't it?
Samhain, yeah,
Samhain?
Samhain, depending on your dialect of Gaelic, yeah, it's
It's totally different.
yeah, it's
religion.
the same as the
It's
Day of the
Druidic,
Dead. Some
isn't
when
it?
people would come up out of the ground, but it wasn't a Satan thing; it was a pagan thing,
Rude.
and then it became a Catholic thing.
It's cultural appropriation.
I don't think
Satanists have appropriated.
I don't
stay
think
away.
pagan is a culture.
They're attempting to appropriate it. Anyways, so aside from that horrible topic that we're not going to get into,
Appropriate.
that's terrible. Anyway, so yeah, apparently, in one night, 500 people tried to visit. It got to the point where they were just anyone who was caught in was getting a ticket immediately,
Okay.
and they were apparently a big ass fine. And then everybody was just getting turned away. They had to get as many people as they could get, and they were just turning them away and
Hi,
ticketing
Hoover.
everybody who got in.
In chat, you're an a-hole too, and a pagan. He says, "Good for you."
But apparently, there's a staircase hidden around in the yard or the
So
cemetery.
basically, it acts as a map between the church and the tree, and then there's like a staircase that leads to the underworld in Kansas.
If you can find it, supposedly to round
Because-
those as markers.
We know that Satan goes far back to Kansas. Is it a yellow brick road?
I would hope, and I really hope there's a lollipop guild that guides you to it.
Well, Hoover's here, so hey, Hoover, being that you're here in chat, I want to give you a heads up on this one. We're having a drinking contest for Paco, who's watching the show at his place, where I'm going to go to here in a little bit. Every time we get a new like to the page and follow, he's going to take a shot. So, invite people.
That does not sound like a good idea.
It's a great idea.
Doesn't sound like
I don't
a
think
good
he's had any
idea.
shots yet. I think he's sober. Stone cold sober. Poor bastard.
You can put a shoe on your head?
No.
You can put a shoe on your head.
No,
I've done it like 3 times.
There's a lot of things I've done that I won't do on camera.
Mm.
Well, I mean, most of it I probably have. Filming ghosts, looking for Bigfoot, doing a show, smoking a cigar,
I still think
drinking this nice tall can of water,
I think it's really interesting that they had to make a diversionary tactic
wearing a kilt.
just
Yeah,
to stop people
Bachelors
from going
Grove?
to Bachelors
Definitely.
Grove. Like
That's
that's
a great
how
idea.
bad that situation is. Like they had to divert people as best as possible to just try. and,
well,
like,
the same thing happened in
minimize the
Skull
damage.
Cemetery, right? So it makes sense, right?
Don't post it in the troll group, please, Aaron.
I don't even care. You do you, girl.
Oh, now it's you changing your
Aaron.
mind.
In the chat. Anyway, so Bachelors Grove, Stoll Cemetery. What are we missing here? What else is going on Stoll Cemetery? It's like an Indian jump
Actually,
ski
that's pretty much it.
to
Like
a
that's
stairway to hell.
a stairway to hell is supposedly frequented by Satan. Satan had a son there that was buried on site, and
In Kansas.
he comes up he rises from the. There's supposed to be 2 places he visits, and this is one of them. And he comes up and visits a place where the grave of the child and the woman he, I guess, slept with that said child.
Dave Hoover? Oh, I know. He's not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
Not anymore, Toto?
I believe it's a yellow brick staircase. So when you go into the staircase into the underworld, this yellow brick staircase in Kansas, you will see the Lollipop Guild of Satan.
Look, I don't know if there's such thing as a Lollipop Guild of Satan, but if there is, I can only hope.
Actually, I really want to see it if there is. If there is, in fact, a Lollipop Guild of Satan that you guys know about, or if you're part of it, hit us up at vanishinggates@gmail.com. It's Vanishing Gates with 2 G's. And send us your story about it. Also saying, hey guys, thanks for watching, because we're almost done, because sometimes you just got to shoot the horse to make the glue.
That doesn't make sense.
That's too.
I don't like it.
Calm down, Logan.
I changed my idea.
Changed your idea for what?
I don't know. Apparently Dave thought I was Seth.
No, Dave, that's Jack. He's fat old man Logan. He wants to fight Vin Diesel. Come on, guys. He's also my brother. We're going to open up our strip club, Skinwalkers. Yeah?
No.
Our paranormal strip club?
I've changed my mind. Dave has insulted me.
You better get used to that, buddy.
He's never allowed to come into Skinwalkers. You banned.
No, he's a VIP.
We
will give him the grossest, hairiest stripper we have. Which is probably going to be you.
Blindfold him and have the dance going off.
He's going to walk in. I want the truffle shuffle special.
Make them put shoes on their heads. I'll tell you what, Aaron. If you want me to put my shoe on the head because you did such a great job, I'll do it for you.
You're going to shoe on head for Aaron?
Of course, if she wants it. I mean, she did a great job.
This entire show.
Yeah, this is
your nightmare, girl.
Just like I did for Dave when he demanded it for his great story, Falcon Lake.
It's Falcon, by the way.
Falcon Lake.
Candidate's Falcon. Anyway. So guys, hey, don't forget to check out our friends at Cotton Studios. Visit Jason Glenn's Facebook page. Give him a like and a share. Tell him we sent you here at Vanishing Gates. Check out John's Fine Cigars or Myrtle Liquor, John's Fine Cigars, if you want to buy some nice stogies and you're in the Eureka area. Yeah. And also, check out our new friends at Nerd Block, where you can subscribe to their boxes of stuff for nerds. They even have horror stuff, I think. Yeah. Oh, and GoSocialNetwork.com. Go sign up a page. It's kind of like Facebook for those of us who like to talk about the paranormal.
I'm pretty sure I just heard the most disturbing thing in chat I've ever heard in my life.
Don't read it out loud. It's probably I don't have to see it to know where it comes from. All right, guys. It's been great. It's been fun. It's been real fun. And, yeah, anything we're missing here?
No.
All right, as always, I am your incoherent co-host, Jay, and with me, my co-host. I said co-host. I'm your host, Jay, with my co-host.
The very concerned Jack.
And don't forget to say hi to our other co-host who's not here, Seth or Paco, as you know him. And don't forget, it's his birthday bash. He's taking shots for every like we have to the page tonight until midnight. So get your friends to like the show, watch the video, and check us out. Don't forget to check out our website, vanishinggates.com. Like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also follow us on Twitter. All right, guys. As always, I'm Jay.
We just did this.
And we're going to do it again for 5
I'm
seconds.
Jack!
All right. See you guys
Fat
later.
Man.
Do your thing.
Goodbye, everybody. Woohoo! What?
We're going to get sued.
What? Oh, sorry.
Disney owns more porn than anybody in the world.
Maybe we should say that live. Now we're going to get sued.
Oh, we still live. Oh, and the broadcast.